Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for attending. As you know, we've been under great pressure to cure the strain of plague, which at present is affecting 75% of the global population.
We'd like to thank our researchers for the...
And our human guinea pigs.
Yes, of course, our volunteers for their help in this matter.
At first, we thought the disease was connected to HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a type of contagious disease transmitted by rats infected with the virus.
Therefore, as I'm sure you're all aware, our initial trial consisted of allergenic methods. This was proven satisfactory, although analgesics had been administered in over 50% of our cases.
With repeated use of the tested drug, the cerebellum, which, as you're all aware, is important in the role of brain function and movement, became unfunctional. We saw this as a good sign.
However, if the virus continues to take hold, there's a possibility that the body can fight back using the T and B lymphocytes.
Taking all the evidence into account, it seems that, God willing, we have found a cure and a way of saving mankind.
First, we would like to thank you all for attending. But as you know, we have been under a great deal of pressure to try and cure the strain of plague, which at present has affected 75% of the world population.
We would like to thank all our researchers for
our human guinea pigs.
Yes, of course, and the volunteers for their help in this matter.
At first, we thought this was connected to the HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a type of contagious disease transmitted by rats infected with the virus.
Therefore, as I'm sure you're all aware, our initial trial consisted of allergenic methods, this proving satisfactory, although analgesics had to be administered in over 50% of the cases.
And with repeated use of the tested drug, the cerebellum, which, as you all know, is a part of the brain which plays an important role in control of movement, seemed to become more functional, and we thought this as a good sign.
However, if the viral infection continues to get a hold, there's a possibility that the body could react and fight back using the T and B lymphocytes.
Taking all this into account, it seems that, God willing, we have found a cure, a way of saving mankind.
Okay, first of all, thank you all for attending. As you're aware, now we've all been under a tremendous amount of stress trying to find a cure for, the strand of what we've been going through. Guys?
Yeah, we'd like to thank our researchers.
And our human guinea pigs.
Yes, of course, our volunteers for their help in this matter.
At first, we thought the disease was connected to the HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a type of contagious disease transmitted by rats infected by the virus.
Therefore, as I am sure you are all well aware, our initial trial consisted of allergenic methods. This was proven satisfactory, although analgesics had to be administered in over 50% of cases.
Exactly. Now, with repeated use of the tested drug, the cerebellum, which, as you all know, is a region of the brain that plays an important part in the aspect of control, etc. Now, this seemed to become more functional. We did think of this as a good thing.
Yes. However, we think that if the infection continues, there is a chance the body might be able to fight back using the T and B lymphocytes.
Taking all the evidence into account, it seems that, God willing, we have found a cure and a way of saving mankind.
First of all, thank you all for attending. As you know, we've been under a great deal of pressure to try and get the strain of plague that's been affecting 75% of the world population.
We would like to thank our researchers for...
And our human guinea pigs.
Yes, of course, our volunteers for their help in this matter.
At first, we thought that it was connected to HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a type of contagious disease transmitted by rats infected by the virus.
Therefore, as I am sure you are all well aware, our initial trial consisted of allergenic methods. This was proven satisfactory, although analgesics had to be administered in over 50% of cases.
However, with the tested drug, the cerebellum, which we all know, is the part of the brain which controls the movement, and it ended up becoming more functional, which, you know, we thought is a good sign.
However, if the viral infection continues to take hold, there is a possibility that the body can fight back using the T and B lymphocytes.
Taking all the evidence into account, it seems that God willing we have found a cure and a way to saving mankind.
Morning everyone. First of all, we'd like to thank you all for attending. As you'll know, we've been under great strain to try and cure the strain of plague which is at present affecting 75% of the global population.
We'd like to thank our researchers for the help.
And our human guinea pigs.
Yes, of course. And our volunteers for their help in this matter.
At first, we thought the disease was connected to HPS, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a disease transmitted by rats that contain the virus.
Therefore, as I'm sure you're all aware, our initial trial consisted of allergenic methods. This was proved satisfactory, although analgesics had been administered in over 50% of the cases.
With repeated use of the tested drug, cerebellum, which, as you're aware, is a region of the brain which controls the function of movement, became more functional. We saw this as a good sign.
However, if the viral infection continues to take hold, there's a possibility that the body can fight back using the T and B lymphocytes.
But taking all that evidence into account, it seems like there is still so much work to do and very little time to do it.